You're online and you're looking at homes in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, but are you even picking the right Carolina?
Mother, mother ocean, I have heard you call. I wanted to sail upon your water since I was 3 feet tall. You've seen it all. You've seen it all.
The whole Myrtle Beach metro area in South Carolina and the 6 island towns that make up the Brunswick Islands in North Carolina share the exact same coastline. They have different characteristics, different lifestyles, a different cost of living. It's basically the same beach split into 2 very different pieces. Knowing those differences will help you pick the right area, and once you know the right area, you can pick the right home. And that'll make your happily ever after happier and ever after year.
Nope.
We're at Sunset Beach, North Carolina, right where the North and South Carolina borders are, because that's the perfect place to talk about the differences between North and South Carolina. We like to get outside and show you where you want to live because it's so gorgeous here. And I mean, unless it's raining, who wants to see the inside of my office, right? We are realtors. We are licensed in North and South Carolina, and we like to film everything in glorious 4K on the land, in the air, and on the water. If we do that just so you have a better YouTube experience, imagine what it would be like to buy a home with us.
A good video of you videoing the crab.
So does the crab have a video of us videoing me, videoing you, videoing the crab? Okay, the weather. Which place has better weather? So the weather is going to be functionally identical between Myrtle Beach and the Brunswick Islands. In both places you have the sea breeze, which reaches anywhere from 10 to 20 miles inland, and it'll keep things a little cooler in the summer and a little warmer in the winter. As far as hurricane activity, the Brunswick Island area basically is going to see a little more hurricane activity because it juts out into the Atlantic more. But because it's further north, that activity is going to be less than what you would see down, or less intense than what you would see down in the Myrtle Beach area, because the warmer the water, the more intense the storms. And the Brunswick Islands are further north than Myrtle Beach. And for every little bit that you get north, those hurricanes get weaker and weaker. So as far as the hurricanes, we'll call that a draw. Activities and attractions. Now, for this one, frankly, it's not even close. The Myrtle Beach area has everything you could ever possibly want to do. Thousands of restaurants, shows, concerts, rides, water sports. There's gardens, art, parks, green spaces everywhere, shopping galore. Now that's not to say that there's not water sports and there's not a little bit of shopping in the Brunswick Island area, but the Brunswick Island area is far more rural. It's far less busy. It's far more quiet than the Myrtle Beach area. So as far as like things to do and attractions, Myrtle Beach has that one hands down. There's a little snail inside of a conch shell. Well, technically this is a whelk. You see his little, that's his foot. And that little plate right there is like the little sole on his shoe. And he was up here struggling, so I'm gonna get him back in the water. Now for healthcare. That's important to some of you guys. I know it is. In the Myrtle Beach area, there are 4 competing hospital networks that have facilities spread out the entire 60 miles of Myrtle Beach. They compete for your business, and the facilities wherever you live are going to be relatively close. Bonus points for Myrtle Beach. They have one of the top VA medical centers in the entire country. It's an extension of the Charleston Medical Center. I personally go to that one because it's that good. I could pay to go to whatever, but I go to the VA because it's amazing. In the Brunswick Island area, you have one hospital network, the Novant Hospital Network. They basically handle everything in the entire area in all of Southeast North Carolina. And there's a benefit to that in a way, because if you have something complex that needs to get done or needs to get taken care of, like you need to see radiology and you need to see oncology and you need to see like another practitioner, right? All three of those will be under the same roof and under the same system, and the coordination between them will all be, seamless. So there's an advantage to that. Now, because the Brunswick Island area is a little more sparse than Myrtle Beach, and when I say it's a lot more sparse, you might have to drive to get to the main hospital in Wilmington if you have anything serious that you need to do. But they have an extension hospital dead in the middle, right in the Shallotte area, to take care of you. So which one would be better? I would say that it depends on your situation and it depends on what you're looking for. So I'm not necessarily going to call that a wash. I'm going to call that particular to you. How about that? Pace of life. The Myrtle Beach area has 25-ish and counting, because God knows it's growing so fast. There's probably going to be a 26 by the time we get pulled into the driveway again. But there are 25-ish towns and cities and census designated areas in Myrtle Beach, and every one of them is a unique neighborhood, and they all have their own pace as far as how busy, how bustling, how quiet, how peaceful they might be. You can generally find what you want to find there. Now, for the Brunswick Islands, the whole area is basically what you see in the background of this video. It's peaceful, it's quiet, there aren't a lot of hotels. Because there aren't a lot of hotels, there's not a lot of tourism. I mean, yeah, there's tourists, but you'll have to Airbnb it. You won't see the crowds up here that you see down there. And most importantly, because it is more rural, and we'll get to this towards the end of the video, because it is more rural, the odds of you getting a house in your price range closer to the beach for the same level of like peace and quiet are higher. Pace of life, who wins that one? I would say it depends on what you're looking for, because if you want the restaurants, and if you want the stuff to do, and if you want the concerts, you're talking Myrtle Beach. But if you're more peace and you're more quiet and you're more relaxed, and that's what you wanted in a place to live, you might want to consider the Brunswick Islands, because they have that in Myrtle Beach, but here you can be closer to the beach. Taxes and cost of living. We spent a lot of time on this one. It's situational. The answer is basically it's complicated, but let me explain. So South Carolina is overall a low tax state. Property taxes can be lower, sales taxes can be lower. They generally frown on taxation. And I know that, especially if you're coming from up north, that, that's a welcome surprise, that they're not trying to murder you on taxes and give you like a whole freaking second mortgage just to pay for school buses, right? North Carolina, on the other hand, does have marginally higher taxes, but they are still way lower than what you're used to if you're from up there. So to make sure that we were comparing apples to apples, because we were trying to figure out a way to how to explain it, we pulled in MLS the exact same kind of house. 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, brand new construction, both in South Carolina and in North Carolina. It was the exact same house in 2 different states. So we knew that we were comparing apples to apples. So we could tell you basically what the cost of living when you're buying a house would be. In Myrtle Beach, the property tax annually on that house is $1,400 and change. In the Brunswick Island area, that exact same house, the taxes were $2,100 and change. So, boo on the Brunswick Islands, right? Well, not necessarily, and here's why it's complicated. That same house in Myrtle Beach is going for $382,000. In the Brunswick Island area, that same house is $22,000 cheaper, and it's closer to the beach. So, depending on your situation, depending on if you're financing, depending on what kind of pension you have, if you have a pension, there's a bunch of things that depends on in North Carolina. It may actually be cheaper, and you'll be able to live closer to the beach in North Carolina, but your mileage can and will vary. So it's important to ask us about what's going on in your exact situation, and we can help you figure that out. So this is the Kindred Spirit mailbox. This is on the absolute south end of Birds Island, right where the South Carolina-North Carolina border is. And people come here to leave messages in the mailbox for, you know, loved ones. Religious people will leave messages to God, that kind of thing. And last time I was here, I was here with Sharon, and this was right when she got her first cancer diagnosis. And anyway, we took the hike to get up here, and we did it in like 90-degree heat. We walked the entire length in full sun, and sunblock, right? So I put the sunblock on her, totally makes, you know, good sunblock. And she goes to put it on me, and I didn't know, but like she kind of wasn't looking. And so she gave me what amounted to a tiger stripe sunburn. And I told her, I'm like, I gotta get on camera, come on, man. Like, thankfully, and if you look in some of the earlier videos, you'll see where I had the tiger stripe sunburn, but it wasn't, you have to look at my arm, but you could definitely see that I looked really weird. The whole point of this video is to help you narrow down which area of the Carolinas you want to live in, and then work your way down to the exact suburb so you can find the right house. If you want the best breakdown of the suburbs of Myrtle Beach that you can find online, click on this video here to the left, and if you've already seen that one, we got something else here that you might enjoy. Thanks for watching.